Abraham and Sarah are central figures in the Bible, known for their journey of faith, patience, and God's promises. But beyond the familiar stories, there are some lesser-known facts that reveal even more about their lives, struggles, and legacy. 1. Abraham married his half-sister. Sarah was Abraham's half-sister. In Genesis 20, verse 12, Abraham says, "She is indeed my sister, the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother, and she became my wife." People often focus on Sarah being his wife, but not the familial connection. 2. Abraham passed Sarah off as a sister twice. Abraham lied twice about Sarah being a sister to protect himself. In Egypt with Pharaoh, Genesis 12, verses 10 to 20. In Gerar with King Abimelech, Genesis 20. God intervened supernaturally both times to protect Sarah. 3. Sarah is the only woman in the Bible whose age at death is mentioned. Sarah lived 127 years, Genesis 23, verse 1. It highlights her importance. Very few women's ages are recorded in such detail. For Abraham was not a Jew at first. Abraham was born a pagan, in Ur of the Chaldeans, a polytheistic society. Joshua 24, verse 2 says Abraham's ancestors worshipped other gods. Abraham is often called a father of faith, yet he started in idolatry. 5. Sarah laughed at God's promise, but so did Abraham. Both Abraham, Genesis 17, verse 17, and Sarah, Genesis 18, verse 12, laughed at God's promise that they'd have a child in old age. Sarah was questioned by God, Genesis 18, verses 13 to 15. Yes, both Abraham and Sarah laughed at God's promise of son, but their laughter had different nuances. Abraham's was an expression of reverent astonishment and wonder, while Sarah's was initially one of disbelief and incredulity, though her son Isaac's name later becomes a symbol of joyous laughter. 6. Abraham's journey was longer than many realize. Abraham's total journey, from Ur to Canaan, then to Egypt, then back to Canaan, spanned over 1,000 miles on foot and with flocks. His journey was not linear. It had setbacks, famines, and detours. 7. Abraham saw Christ's day. According to Jesus, Jesus said, "Your father Abraham rejoiced to see my day, and he saw it and was glad." John 8, verse 56. This suggests Abraham had some prophetic vision or understanding of the coming Messiah, something not explained directly in Genesis. 8. Abraham is revered in 3 major religions. He's a central figure in Judaism, patriarch of the Israelites; Christianity, father of faith, Romans 4; Islam, called Ibrahim, father of prophets, ancestor of Muhammad via Ishmael. 9. Abraham was buried next to Sarah. Abraham bought the cave of Machpelah as a burial place for Sarah, Genesis 23. Later, Abraham was buried there too, Genesis 25, verses 9 to 10. It became the family tomb for Isaac, Rebekah, Jacob, and Leah as well. 10. Abraham may have believed in resurrection. Hebrews 11, verse 19 says Abraham considered that God was able even to raise Isaac from the dead. When God asked him to sacrifice Isaac, Abraham may have believed God would resurrect him to fulfill the promise. 11. Abraham and Sarah appear to have lived apart for a period in their old age. Sarah died in Hebron, but Abraham was not with her. Genesis 23, verses 1 to 2 says, Sarah lived to be 127 years old. She died at Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron. And Abraham went in to mourn for Sarah and to weep for her. Abraham went in to mourn for her. This implies he was not with her when she died. He came from elsewhere. Right before Sarah's death, in Genesis 22, Abraham was living in Beersheba. Genesis 22, verse 19. Abraham returned his young men, and they arose and went together to Beersheba. And Abraham dwelt at Beersheba. Beersheba and Hebron are about 26 miles apart. Not far by today's standards, but far enough to indicate separate residences. especially for the elderly. Abraham and Sarah's story goes far deeper than just a promise and a son. These little-known facts show their humanity, faith, and the complex path they walk with God, reminding us that even the greatest heroes of faith had doubts, detours, and divine encounters. If you learned something new today, don't forget to subscribe and share this video with others who love diving into the Bible. Until next time, keep seeking truth, keep growing faith, and stay blessed.